The weekly Altadena Community Meeting. Today, we'll hear first from the Chair of the LA County Board of Supervisors, Catherine Barger, followed by 3 short presentations from the Army Corps, the Department of Public Works, and the Department of Regional Planning, followed then by a brief question and answer session. Supervisor Barger, the floor is yours.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon. These weekly briefings will continue to be available to answer your most pressing questions. I know many of the questions received for today's meeting were about rebuilding, and I am proud to announce that starting today, the county's one-stop shop for all permitting is open. I've heard directly from so many of you who are ready to rebuild, and I want to make you this promise that we will move all bureaucracy out of the way to make that happen. This one stop is instrumental to streamlining our review process and ensuring that anyone who is rebuilding will get all their plans approved at one time in one place. It is going to be located on site at the Disaster Recovery Center on Woodbury Road, where you can get all other recovery services. We tried to put it under one umbrella in case there were other issues that you needed addressed. As I've said before, as we're rebuilding Altadena, the buck stops with the county. You have my guarantee that we will be fully committed to getting every regulatory barrier out of the way. The county and state have already taken drastic actions to streamline our rebuilding process. I will continue to keep all of you in the loop and to continue to advocate on your behalf. I also wanted to share an update on the motion I authored at the end of January to conduct an independent review of the county's emergency alert notification systems. I'm pleased to share that the county has selected the McChrystal Group, led by retired 4-star General Stanley McChrystal, to conduct this full review. General McChrystal is a former leader of the U.S. military's Joint Special Operations Command and has extensive experience with disaster response reviews. His team is also currently conducting an ongoing review concerning the North Carolina hurricane. Their work has already begun, and the first progress report will be delivered within the next month. I look forward to seeing its findings and sharing them with the community so that we can all better understand what happened that first night of the fire and continue to improve our systems and ultimately protect public safety. Now, without further ado, I want us to get going with the briefing and to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll hear now from Colonel Brian Saucer with the Army Corps on a brief update.
Yeah, so appreciate the opportunity, and I just want to introduce myself briefly to the community of Altadena and those affected by the Eaton fire. My name is Colonel Brian Saucer. I've been on the ground here for approximately about a month in response to this national disaster. I'm currently over here on the Palisades side working this fire, but I work in concert with Colonel Eric Swenson, who I know you all know very, very well. Unfortunately, he could not be here tonight, so you're getting the runner-up in the briefing skills, but I'm very much looking forward to the conversation and answering your questions, and look forward to the conversation as we all learn more in this process. First, I'd like to say I think there's been a statement that's been put out by the governor, and I just want to congratulate all parties involved. This has been an amazing effort at the local, state, and federal levels, and I mean that very, very much sincerely. All parties have been working as hard as humanly possible to pull out all the stops and start to move out on actual debris removal. And in his announcement, he did announce that tomorrow we're going to commence private property debris removal at both the Eaton fire and the Palisades fire, in particular one property each, and that's going to grow very, very quickly. And we are certainly proud to team with all the stakeholders that have made this happen, but most importantly, the most important stakeholder, and that is you, the affected communities. We have recently received numerous ROEs, and they have been filtered and verified by the county, and we are now starting to action those ROEs in the form of debris removal. So what you're going to see is an uptick in activity in your communities. I know you've seen a lot of utility trucks and other repair vehicles and construction-like vehicles in your neighborhoods. You're going to see increasingly more so as we come in to collect the actual debris and get your properties prepared to be rebuilt. So you're going to see an uptick in traffic. And I'd really like to ask everyone, please be safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel. If you don't need to be out in the community areas, it's best to try to open up those roads as much as possible, knowing full well that we have folks that are living in that neighborhood as well. We're going to do everything in our power to ensure public health and safety as we embark on this massive project. But you're going to see more vehicles really starting out there tomorrow, and there'll be increasingly more vehicles as each day passes. And just on the ROE process, my hat is off to the folks affected by the Eaton fire in Altadena, Pasadena, and
Mis
Sierra
respetos
Madre.
a todas las personas.
I just want to tell you that we're getting more and more of those ROEs every day, and that's really on behalf of your collective effort. So the more we get, the faster that we're able to complete this large mission in front of us. So I look forward to your questions today. Thank you very, very much for having me.
Thank you, Colonel, and I'll turn it over now to the Director of Regional Planning, Amy Bodek, with an update on the one-stops. Director Bodek?
Hello, thank you very much. My name is Amy Bodak, and I am the Director of Regional Planning, and I was actually on another tour today of Altadena this afternoon, and I do want to talk a little bit about the one stop at the Disaster Recovery Center that Supervisor Barger mentioned earlier. Yesterday morning, my department, the Public Works Department, Public Health, and the Fire Department came together to rearrange the DRC a little bit to provide some space for us for that one stop. It did open and was operational this morning. I stopped in this morning and people are already using it. What this means for you is, as Supervisor Barger said, you can walk into the DRC, conduct your other business. We are right next to the Registrar of Recorders. So if you need to get a copy of your grant deed for the piece of property you might own, you can actually get it there. And we're right next to the tax collector, the assessor, so that you can talk to the assessor and make sure that you have completed all the necessary forms with the county assessor. But as was said, you can get a permit for temporary housing. You can get a rebuild permit for your home. And if you want to conduct other business with us, we are there for you as well. This is going to be a location that we are going to staff until as long as we need to be there. But we are looking to open up a more permanent facility within the next month or so, very quickly. And that will have a little bit more space for everyone, and that will be much more focused and dedicated with a lot more staff to meet your needs.